How does playing the music affect schoolwork, or does it?
It has broadened a lot of my math skills. I'm better at my math than I would have been 2 years ago if I didn't have any music. It helps your reading and it helps you focus more. It's kind of like a de-stressor for me, so I'm not as stressed out about school.
You ever been injured?
Yes, I have been injured twice this season. I had my left knee was swollen before our marching festival, and it was really bad. And my band director wouldn't let me march, and I was kind of upset. And then before our last week of practice, it was hurt again, and so that was kind of I needed to let that relax out so I could march. If I would have marched on that knee, it would have made it worse. So I wouldn't be able to march at BOA if I would have let it worse.
Before we go on, a few more questions I should have asked right at the beginning. Tell me where you go to school and who your band teacher is.
My band director is Gary Doherty, and he and I go to Arsenal Technical High School.
And do you have an email address?
Yes, it's Kika Shea, KIKASHA09 at yahoo.com.
Okay, thank you. And have you had any other injuries?
No, I have not.
Have you had other friends or bandmates who have had injuries? Tell me a little bit about that.
I'm not really sure. They probably have, but they probably weren't during the marching season.
How much time a week do you spend playing or practicing?
I spend about 2 hours a night on top of my homework, playing through our music. Show music, any music, I play through it.
Is it more some weeks than others? Tell me a little bit about how it may change as you get ready for a show.
When it's show season or show day, I will practice more, and I'll be more focused and more ready to do what I need to do. I won't be as playful, but I'll be more focused on our music and our show and what needs to happen. And if it's not before a show week, I still will run through my music. So I know if it's a spot that I need to hit, I can work through that spot.
Of course, you've got rehearsals too.
Yes.
Tell me about now. Let's do it again. When I say how much do you play, you count your own practicing and count any rehearsing, or do you take lessons too?
I want to take lessons, but I don't take lessons. And our rehearsing, we practice from 4 to 6:30, Tuesday through Thursday, and sometimes on Fridays. If we have something major coming up over the weekend, we would practice on a Friday. Or if we had something that was on a Wednesday and we didn't have school on Thursday and Friday, we would practice Monday, Tuesday, practice a little bit on Wednesday so we could be focused Wednesday night for our show. So altogether, I practice about 5 to 6 hours every week.
Have you really only been playing a couple of years?
Yes, I have.
How did you learn?
I was in beginning band my sophomore year, and our band director switched. Our old band director went to a different school, and we got a new band director, which is Mr. Doherty. And he saw a lot of potential in me, so he had me stay after during the concert season. And he gave me the music, and he put me with a person who is Kristen, and she's my best friend. And she taught me how to play the music and what all I needed to know and this and that. And so when I found out all the music, I got interested and I just stayed in it. And I stayed through the next marching season and then that concert season. And I am here this marching season, and I'll be here in the concert season.
So you really get something out of it?
Yes,
what
I
does
really
it do
do.
for you other than kill some time?
It keeps me focused, not stressed. I do a lot. We're involved. Me and Kristen hang out all the time. We're going to start a quartet with me, Josh, her, and Kristen. Me, Josh, her, and Jamanica. They're also 2 woodwind players. They all are flute players. And we're going to start a woodwind quartet or flute quartet for our ISMA contest in January. So we're going to practice for that and get ready for that. So we've been running through our music on days where it's kind of slow during that 2:45 to 4 o'clock before marching band starts. Practice rehearsal starts. So we will run through that. Or she would be at color guard because she's also involved in a lot of things at school too.
Right. Some good French music for flute quartet.
Yes.
French composers have done a lot. It's a lot of hard work. Do you think of yourself as an athlete?
Not truly, but then again, yes. Because we practice and we stretch and we warm up just as much as a football player would. Football and marching band are the same thing. It's just you have an instrument and they have a football. The only difference is they would be hitting people and you wouldn't. You'll be marching. So it's kind of the same thing, but it's kind of not in a way.
Do you have to look at how much rest you get and what you eat?
Yes. You have to make sure that you drink plenty of water, especially during the hot days in August and September. If you don't drink a lot of water, you will pass out or get dehydrated. And you have to make sure you're stretched out so you don't cramp up or lock your knees, and then that will also cause you to pass out. You have to make sure you don't eat so much that you get tired during the practice and that you keep yourself energized and keep going. And you have to make sure that you eat before big games or anything like that. You have to make sure you constantly have something to eat. You can't just, well, I'm fine, I don't need anything to eat. You have to eat. You can't just go out there and march and not eat.
Okay, how do you know that? Does something happen to somebody?
If you don't, you can cause yourself to probably cramp up or you'll get shock. I'm pretty sure you could get shock from not eating.
Has it happened? Do you know of anybody who's had real trouble?
No. But they highly encourage us to eat before practices.
What about your hearing? Now, loud sounds can damage your hearing.
Yes. When you are outside, you have to make sure that you're in tune with all the other instruments. And if you play really loud, like rock music before a practice, it can cause you not to be able to tune as well. It will make your ears really insensitive to the waves during the uneven sounds. So you have to make sure that your music is low. If you're going to listen to music before a practice, you need to listen to low kind of music, like turn your volume down. Because if not, your tuning won't be as perfect as what it needs to be.
Do you know anybody who's had their hearing damaged? Like playing in a rock band or going to concerts?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But I'm sure it has happened.
All right. Anything else you want to say on the subject about musicians being athletes too?
No.
Okay. Start. Tell me your name and how to spell it.
Hi, my name is Stephen Harris, Stevenharris. I'm 16 years old, and I've been playing mellophone for about 2.5 years now.
Excellent. Do you have an email I can?
Yes, StephenDHarris@yahoo.com.
I can remember that. I could have almost guessed that if I'd known your initial. Okay, so you know what we're talking about. You ever been injured?
Yeah, I had to wear a brace last year on my knee because I had locked my knees and we had this step off and I went the wrong way and it sort of just like messed up my right knee and I had to put a brace on it for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that.
Bummer. Tell me again, and let me get a shot of your knees as you do that. So
it was like,
wait a couple beats and then tell me how your injured was.
We have to step off and then instead I locked my knee and I turned like that because that was the step off and then it sort of just twisted just a bit.
And then what happened? Did it take a while to recover? Did you have to stay off it? Did you see a doctor?
I did go see a doctor. He told me to put some ice on it and stay off it just for a little bit. But I was back on the field for a good while.
Have you had friends who were injured?
Yeah, one of my friends, Matt Perry, he's a trumpet player. He actually passed out on the field
Tell me
this
again,
year.
give it a little pause and then just give the first name.
One of my friends, Matt, passed out on the field this year. He's a trumpet player. He was playing some really high stuff and he just ran out of air and just fell, actually. He's okay now though.
Wow. You guys got to be careful.
Yeah.
How about, talk to me a little bit about schoolwork. Any relationship between your music and your schoolwork?
Yeah, with marching band, you do many things at one time, so you're multitasking a lot. And it's really helped me, like I can do AP literature work and pre-cal at the same time and just go from thing to thing. I can have plenty of things on my head at the same time now just because of marching band.
Cool. Are you, have you played sports too?
Yeah, I played tennis freshman year and used to play soccer just a bit. I still like playing tennis now, every now and then.
Did you ever get injured playing sports?
I was hit in the face with a tennis ball freshman year, but that was about it. A little bit of swelling.
Since you've done both, do you see any similarities between the band, playing an instrument, and being an athlete? The physical demands, preparation?
When you're playing an instrument, you have to warm up, do a lot of stretching on the field with marching band, and make sure your body's in full physical readiness before you go out. And with tennis and other sports, it's the same thing. You want to make sure that you're in the top physical condition that you can be in.
Why?
Basically, you want to be able to breathe more throughout the entire show with marching band, and you want to be able to breathe and feel ready if you're doing another sport too.
Excellent. Pause just a couple of beats and then tell me how much you play in a typical day, typical week. How does it change as you're getting ready for competition or a show? I
play 3 different instruments, viola, French horn, and mellophone, and I try to multitask those around through the week. I may spend an hour on French horn, an hour on mellophone, and about a half an hour on viola, and just try to work that out and make sure I'm ready for every show.
Cool. What about nutrition? Do you have to watch what you eat? Yeah, I mean, and I'm talking in general for your general health, and then what about anything specifically before a concert or something?
When you do marching band, you want to make sure that your bones are real strong, so drink a lot of milk and get a lot of calcium before every show. And you want to wake up in the morning and make sure that you eat breakfast and get a lot of food in the morning, because that's the most important meal of the day.
It's like you're working for the Breakfast Council. Or
yeah.
The dairy. Anything else you want to talk about? And to think about your hearing. I mean, do you know people who have, like my son plays in a rock band, and I worry about his hearing.
Yes, one of my friends was at a rock show, and they're about 24 now, and they're actually like half deaf in their right ear just because they just kept going to rock shows like every day and stayed around.
Too close, too loud, no
yeah.
ear protection. It's kind of nerdy though. What are you going to wear, earplugs?
I wouldn't wear earplugs, not on the field, because you have to listen to all the different instruments, and you have to know your part so well that you can hear every other instrument in the band.
What about going to rock shows?
Going to rock shows, I would advise using earplugs or just staying just not getting too close to the amps and things like that.
Okay. Anything else on the subject here? Musicians as athletes?
There are a lot of musicians as athletes. I know like many people who have wrestled, and many football players that tried to do marching band at the same time. That didn't really work out. But I used to play tennis and do marching band too at the same time. And the music teachers will find a way to work around your schedule if you're into sports.
Okay. Now that's talking about scheduling. I'm thinking of the physical demands, the need for conditioning, the potential for injury or trying to stay healthy. What are some similarities?
With scheduling, you need to make sure that you're balanced pretty much. Working out every day. With marching band, some of us do push-ups if we mess up on the field, and go throughout that every time we mess up, and it gets fun after a while. But and make sure that you just balance yourself between homework and school, because school is still important too.
Okay. Any other thoughts on this idea of the physical demands of music being somewhat similar to those of athletes?
Some of the physical demands of students is like pretty much every marcher is a quarterback, because the quarterback has to do so much. He has to survey the field, look around, make sure there's no defenders about to come attack them and stuff like that. And with marching band, you have to use your peripherals the same way and look around and make sure you're in line and all in step too.
Observations of a combat mellophone player. Hey, that's all good. Good. Nice teeth. All right, cool. Tell me your name and how to spell it and what you play.
My name is Michael Snow, Michaelsnow.
That's an easy one.
It is easy. And I'm in the drum line, and I play the tenor or the quads.
How long have you been playing?
I've been in the drum line for a couple years now, so just a couple years.
Great. How much do you play a day? Like between your own practice and rehearsals, what kind of time is involved? Like look over a week's time. What's that like?
Over a week's time, I would say somewhere between 10 and 12 hours a week, minimum.
Okay. Remember, they're not going to hear my questions. So
Okay.
if you start that again and say, I spend probably.
Okay. I spend probably a minimum of 10 to 12 hours a week practicing, and that's a minimum. So it could be a couple hours more than that even. So.
Okay. Can you do that again because we had the noise?
I would spend about a minimum of 10 to 12 hours a week playing the drum and practicing. So.
Who's your teacher?
Mr. Doherty, he's the band director, and then also Mr. Donaldson, he is the drumline director, and he helps us.
Do you have an email address? Because I may need to email you.
Yes, I do. It is meegul .snow@live.com.
What's Meagle? What's that all about?
Oh, it's just a nickname that I got.
Have you ever been injured, Michael?
Not in marching band. I've had, minor knee injuries, but none major. No major injuries.
Has that affected your work in the drum line?
No, it has not severely. My knee injury really, didn't mess with my playing or anything like that. My marching, it was just very minor.
Good thing. With my luck, it comes up, 2 days before the big competition. Have you had friends who have had injuries related to drumline?
Not drumline in general, but in the marching band, I have people spraying stuff and broken things, so injuries do happen.
What's the best way to prevent that?
Stretching is a very effective way. If you don't stretch properly, then those injuries are more likely to occur.
Good. What about food? Is it important what you eat or what you drink? Both just general overall training and then maybe specifically the day before something heavy?
Yeah, I think that, like with eating things, you're always, eat healthy, and, that does affect. If you have, some huge meal, a bunch of chicken, then, that's not going to do you very well. But, if you do eat healthy, then, you'll play better, because you'll be more energized and stuff. And preparing for it, like over time, a nice diet, you have to keep a healthy weight. So, marching band is tough, and so you need to be healthy.
What about water on a hot day?
Oh, water, yeah, water is very important. You sweat a lot, especially when it's summertime. You sweat a lot and you sweat that water out, so you need to keep yourself hydrated.
Have you done like band competition at the state fair?
No, I have not.
You ever done these competitions in full uniform on a hot day?
Yeah, I have done, we've done parades and things like that on a hot day. 500 parade is, an example, and, you get very hot and you're soaking wet, and, water is very important. By the end of that, you're just begging for that water because, you can feel it.
You had a workout.
Yes.
Have you played sports too?
I have played sports. I play baseball and wrestling, and it's the same type of thing with like the stretching and the diets and stuff. We always stretch before wrestling practice, and we do the same thing with marching band. We'll stretch before marching band and stuff, and you have to keep your diet in a nice diet, and they're very similar.
What would you say to somebody who said, "Hey, man, I'm a football player. I'm an athlete. You guys are just messing around, twiddling instruments"?
Well, I think if somebody said that, they should come and see what we do, because a lot of people don't understand how grueling it is, and it's not just it's not walking. You just go out there and do it. It's actually difficult, and it takes a toll on your body.
I like that. do it again, please. But remember, they didn't hear my question. So you might say, hey, if anybody thinks this isn't,
Okay.
these are athletes, let me tell you, bud, you go.
Okay, if a football player, for instance, were to come and say that, you know, the marching band is nothing and, you know, it's easy or stuff like that on your body, then, you know, they should really come and watch us, because it's hard and it's grueling and it takes a real toll on your body.
Plus, they wouldn't know how to play. They would not have played the instrument.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. What about hearing? Do you worry about your hearing at all? Like my son's a drummer in a rock band, and I worry about his hearing.
Yeah.
I worry about his sanity in general.
Yeah, hearing, you know, that's also something that, you know, we're concerned about. We have earplugs, like, you know, some people do wear earplugs that are on the drum line, and, you know, that's just because it does get loud, and, you know, 2 hours a day at practice, the, you know, drums beating in your ear, you know, that does take a toll. So, you know, wearing things in your ears, like earplugs, you know, they do help.
Do you know anybody who's had any hearing loss?
No, I do not.
Anything I'm missing here? Any other thoughts about musicians as athletes?
Other than, like, you know, being, you know, a musician, especially like in the marching band, you know, it is a sport, you know. You do the same exact routines that, you know, sports do. You do the stretching and the dieting and everything, and the preparations for it, you know, physically, that they are very similar, sports and marching band.
All right, tell me your name, please, and then how to spell it.
My name's Ashley Kyles. It's ASHLEY KYLES.
I could do that one too. Would you have an email, Ashley?
Yes, it's A Kyles, AKYLES at Kyles12 at yahoo.com.
All right, cool. So tell me a little bit about what you play and how long you've done it. Who's your teacher?
I'm a snare drum player. I played the drums since I was like in 7th grade, I think. I'm very dedicated.
So you should tell me a little bit about your instrument, how long you've been playing, and who your teacher is.
I'm a snare drum. I played the snare drum since I was in 7th grade. I'm a senior now. I'm very dedicated, and my director is Doherty, Mr. Doherty.
Great. Okay, cool. So have you ever been injured?
Yes, recently on a day before my performance at BOA, we were crabbing and my knee like jutted out and popped back in, and it hurt really a lot. But I continued on and just continued the whole performance until it was done.
Okay, so then what happened? Did you get treated at all, or?
Afterwards, my director asked me how did I feel, was I okay, and whatnot, and then he told me somebody carried my drum for me, of course, and then I got my stuff and I went home, and that night I took some medicine and just iced it and came back in the morning and performed.
You are tough. So you took one for the team. So you went ahead and finished the show? I mean,
yeah.
The show must go on.
Yeah, even like a couple times, like I've known people to like come in and be sick, like the flu, and not be able to breathe correctly, and they still continue on. And I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. It's just my knee, and it'll heal.
It's just you only got 2 of them, and you need
But
them.
it's I was saying, like, music to me is like, it's a way I express things. It's a way I can release my stress and just express myself emotionally to everybody else.
Is that important?
Yeah.
Has your music affected your schoolwork at all?
No, music actually helps me out with my schoolwork. It makes me want to do better in class, and then it shows me how, like, if I want to do music, then I have to finish school. And if I want to become a teacher, I have to know something about teaching and whatnot, and plainly how to get through college and whatnot and continue on with my life. Because it's going to be things in my life that I don't want to do, but I'm going to have to do to get what I want.
Do you want to be a teacher? Tell me a little bit about that. What do you want to teach?
I want to teach music. I want to teach music because I like, even though I'm like just a snare drum, and I'm a percussionist, so when I look at everybody else, I pretty much help out the whole drum line, and I like helping
kids and just like showing them how to like perform music, like perform better, and just be a better percussionist, musician in every form.
What would you say to someone who said, "Oh man, playing music, you just walk around, hit the drum, that's nothing"? I'm a real
It's
athlete."
playing the drums and just plainly trying to read music is very hard. And like for me, when I was younger, it was hard for me to read. And at first, I felt as if I just heard it, I can play it. But then I was like, well, what if I have a competition and they wanted me to read on spot? Well, it's really hard, and going around marching all day with a drum on my back, on my shoulders, that's hurting my back and my legs and whatnot, is very hard. And just my dedication really helps out with that.
How important is nutrition and fluids?
Water, for one, is one of the most important things because band goes all year round. So when we're outside and it's like hot 90 degrees and you don't have any shade and you're just on the field marching from like 3 o'clock in the afternoon to like 6 o'clock in the evening, then you need like at least like, I don't know, 6 bottles of water. And it's like you get dehydrated a lot. You sweat. It's just like playing football. You don't, when your coach tells you to get out there on the field, you have to go and you have to do your best. So when I'm like at home, I think about band and how like if I eat this, how I'm going to feel later. If I don't eat before I go to band, then I don't play as my best because I'm lazy and I'm not like hydrated and pumped up and whatnot because I'm hungry.
Are there any other musicians or athletes in your family or teachers?
No, but my brother he plays guitar and he plays the drum set.
Okay. What am I not asking here? What else should we cover? Have you had friends who have had other injuries?
Yes, I've actually seen somebody actually break their ankle and crabbing, and it really hurt it, but they continued. And that was one of my inspirations to continue on, even though my leg had popped out. And I was like, well, if I just keep going, and by the time I get it done, it'll be over in a minute.
Yeah, really. So crabbing is walking sideways while you're playing?
Yeah. Crabbing is walking sideways, but you have to bend your knees, and you back step over, and it puts a lot of pressure on your spinal cord and your upper thighs and your knees. So you have to have a lot of muscles, and it's just like being a linebacker or somebody that runs track.
You have to condition and train. You couldn't like run out and do that the first
No.
day of the season.
If I were somebody that were brand new to playing the drum, I would complain. I would be the worst person ever to you. Well, you wouldn't want to be around me because plainly, when I go out there, I have to at least take one run around the track to prepare myself for the whole marching and preparing. And then we have to stretch every day. We stretch at least for like 30 minutes before we perform for the next 2 hours.
Why stretch?
Plainly, when you say if I was a runner, I couldn't run as hard and as powerful as I wanted if my legs were tense and tight from just walking around and not preparing myself for the upcoming race.
Okay. So you want to be a teacher. That is cool. What inspired you to want to be a teacher? Is it revenge on teachers who tortured you?
No, I want to be a teacher because plainly just the way like my director, Mr. Doherty, presents it and explains like music towards us, it makes me want to teach other kids, just make it better for them. Because I know like a lot of kids that have met like music directors who are mean and don't know how to like make kids want to play. And I want to make other people be able to express their stuff through music. And I know a lot of kids that are very talented, but they're not in the band because they don't like the director, or it's just because the people that are in their bands that make them not want to come. And I think that I want somebody that's very positive to want me to come, make me want to come. So I want to be that person.
You guys won yesterday, didn't you?
No, we won second place.
Second is good.
Yes.
How did you feel about your performance?
I felt as if I tried my best. That's all I can ask myself. And I asked everybody else in my section and out of my section to do their best. So when we win second place, I say we just have work to do. And when we win first place, we still have work to do.
Yeah. Anything else?
Music is very, very hard on your body, so you need to be healthy. And most of the kids that are in the band do stuff outside, like basketball, soccer, football, and whatnot. And just in the inspiration for people to come in and express their stuff is very awesome.
Great. Thank you so much.